Dragon Ball Z Team Training is a Pokémon Fire Red mod that makes your game all the Dragon Ball epicness you could ever want. Basically, if you wanted to have a pet Goku to fight your enemies within Pokémon, this is all of that and more. There are currently 180 Dragon Ball fighters, Pokémon, in the game, and the locations reflect places in the Dragon Ball world. In the description is a link to the original Pokécommunity thread from ZMax, the game's creator, which outlines basic information for the game. If you like this type of content, please leave a comment down below telling me. I am not done with DKC. This is just something extra. The potion in the PC has been replaced by an onigiri. I don't get that reference, but it sounds familiar. Is it Japanese? This is a Yamcha run. This mod's the mod so I can start with whatever fighter I want. Going up against Vegeta just feels right. Uncharacteristically, Yamcha beats Vegeta. Brock has been replaced with Yajirobe. He has only Saiyans. He was fairly easy to beat. I used the move Roga Fufuken mostly for this run. Luckily, I got that move early. This move is somewhat broken. I'll get into it more later. Yajirobe has Raditz and Nappa as fighters. I did have to go to the forest to level up once or twice, but after that he was simple. I placed a limit on myself. No items in battle. After winning, I make my way to Namek Town and fight Murray. He was pretty simple. Frieza is dark, ice, so times 4 weak to fighting. Next I fight the rival on the bridge. One Pokemon has Intimidate, so my fighting moves become kind of useless. But this is why Roga Fufuken is broken. Power is raised after each hit I take. You'll see me exploit this throughout the run. I just love the rival, so I face him again aboard the SS Anne. This is almost identical to the fight on the bridge. I start spamming Roga Fufuken once I am intimidated. For the next gym leader, I am facing off against the Red Ribbon Army's General Red. His team is fairly straightforward. However, it is important to note that Android 19 can absorb energy attacks, so I always use physical to be safe. I journey to pick up Flash, or Taiyukin as it is called here, because I don't know Rock Tunnel that much. Unfortunately, I didn't catch enough fighters to fill up my scouter. Whoops. So I make my way through in the dark and end up in Makio Town to confront my rival in God's Tower. His team is mostly the same as before with one addition, Android 13. So I use a similar strategy with abusing Roga Fufuken. After that, I swing by this lady to grab tea for later. Now it's time to fight Erika. I mean Bulma. This is the first gym leader I struggled with. So I went and beat all the trainers around her gym. Luckily, that was enough. SSJ2 Gohan was my problem. If I took any damage prior, he would kill me. Pilaf was a very easy fight after Bulma. I have nothing to really say here. As Pilaf runs away in despair, he drops the A-Scouter. I use this to get to the top floor of God's Tower and rescue Kami. He then warns me of a monster down by Ginger Town, and gives me an ocarina to try to seal away the monster. So I heed his advice and while there, face the gym leader Barbidi. Luckily for me, all his fighters are part dark. This makes them vulnerable to my fighting type attacks. Thus far, I've been pleasantly surprised that there were no glitches as of yet. However, I stumbled on one here. It seems teaching surf in this house crashes. But no crash if I just leave the house. Okay. Sylph Company, or Capsule Corporation, has been moved from Saffron, or Satan City, to Celadon, or West City. So I head over to there to defeat my rival. This rival was actually pretty tough. The Uzaru was a big problem in the middle of his party. From there, I continued on and beat Pilaf. He was pretty easy to defeat, especially since he didn't have Intimidate strats. Afterwards, I fought Mr. Satan. He might be a pushover in the show and manga, but not here. He has strong fighters that do not have a type disadvantage, so I definitely lost a few times. Next I went to face Blaine, or Master Roshi. It was here that I finally caved and used an infinite rare candy cheat. At this higher level, grinding is just too painful. Even someone as fun as Yamcha. I exploited Roga Fufuken here, and got a lucky crit on SSJ3 Goku. The last gym has me facing Emperor Pilaf. This was especially hard because there were two back-to-back enemies that were part ghost, or immune to my fighting attacks. Luckily, my key blasts were of the fire type, and my special attack was roughly the same as my physical attack. After, I faced my rival on the same route I first fought him on. Poetic. I lost to him the first few times, but that's because I was trying my Roga Fufuken strat, but that initial Intimidate was too much at this point in the game. I used some rare candies to buff me to 80. Finally I get to the Elite Four, or in this game, the 4 Kais. Which I thought was a perfect way to end this game. One limit that I placed on myself was I had to beat these last battles all in one go. No saving allowed. Therefore, I had to use rare candies to get up to level 95. So I start with East Kai. East was easy. Just punch everything. Hard. Then I move on to South Kai. Same strat here. Luckily, the opponent didn't have Intimidate until the final fighter. I was paralyzed, but fought through it. Next I fight West Kai. I ran out of PP for my punch. Guess I forgot how to punch, so I switched to Roga Fufuken. Like South Kai, the final fighter had Intimidate. But this didn't matter because Hirodigan is part ghost. So I switched to my fire-based key attack and win. Last Kai is North Kai. Here I just abuse Roga Fufuken to get the dub here. As the battle goes on, you can clearly see the benefit of Rogo Fufuken and why it is so exploitable. Ultimately, is my final fight with my rival, whom, if you haven't noticed, I named Cell. He starts with Intimidate strats, but I avoid that and start spamming Ki blasts. The final fighter is Cell, and I just make it through. Now, this song sounds familiar, but I can't put a name to it. If you know, please tell me in the comments. This was a fun challenge to do. I'll leave a list of available fighters in the description. Let me know which one I should try next.